everyone, welcome to Mack's Food Studio. My name is Chef Katy and I'll be guiding you how to make Israeli couscous today. So there are 3 different types of couscous. There's Moroccan, which is a very tiny grain. I'd almost compare it to polenta, but like a little bit bigger so that they don't like kind of mush together, they stay apart. And then we have Israeli couscous. So this is kind of the medium-sized couscous. It's one of the most popular in North America, I would say. And then there's Lebanese couscous. So Lebanese couscous is about the size of a chickpea, and they're huge. For our flavoring agents, we're gonna be using a lot of minced garlic. We're gonna be using some fresh thyme, and then just a chopped up roma tomato and parsley. All right, so let's make some couscous. Right now on medium-high heat, we have some of Vital Farms butter melting in the pot. We're gonna add a little bit of salt just to enhance the heat to get the butter to melt a little bit faster. And then we're also gonna be adding black pepper. I'm a big believer in adding all of the dried spices that we need for the dish in first, especially when cooking a grain like couscous. This is gonna season our fat, so our butter in this case, so that when we're combining it with all of the couscous, all of the seasoned fat is gonna coat all of the individual grains of couscous before we add in our liquid. All right, so next we're gonna be adding our fresh thyme and our minced garlic. So we'll just pop the thyme kind of right in the center of the pot or close to the center of the pot, followed by the garlic. So we added our dried aromatics in, which was just the salt and black pepper, really simple, and then our wet aromatics, which were the thyme and garlic. Same reason, seasoning that fat. And then as soon as you can smell the garlic, that's when you add in your couscous or whatever grain you're cooking. So I'm already smelling the garlic. So we're gonna add this delicious looking mug of couscous right in the center of the pan. I like to use a mug for a few reasons. One, it's super easy to pour out of, especially if you don't have a liquid or a volume measuring cup. And then also, because we use ratios for cooking grains, you know exactly how much liquid to add into the grains. So we used about this much of a mug's worth of couscous. So now we're gonna add in double the amount of couscous in liquid. So we have that, and then we'll finish this up and get it to a simmer. Our stock is just coming to a little bit of a boil. So you can tell it's a boil because all of the bubbles are directly in the middle of the pot. We don't want that. We're actually gonna reduce the temperature down to medium and bring it off the burner a little bit. Maybe completely off for a second to let these bubbles go down. But ideally, we just want bubbles to be forming on the outside of the pan. So there we go, let's add it back on. It should come down in a few minutes, but I'll let you know what it looks like when it gets there. We're at a simmer instead of a boil. It's just along the edges, which is exactly where we want to be. So now we're just gonna place the lid on, leaving a little bit of an air crack for evaporation to occur. And we'll come back when the couscous is all done. Everyone, our couscous is all finished. It's nice and plump and beautiful. So to finish it off and add a little bit of freshness, we're just gonna be taking our diced tomatoes and our parsley and adding it in. We'll stir it into the hot couscous so that they start to cook, but they still have that really nice, like crunchy texture from the parsley stems and the nice freshness that a raw tomato gives. All right, you guys, it is smelling delicious. I'm so excited to dig in, but first, we're gonna add one more thing. 3/4 cup Parmesan. If you're a cheese addict like me, it adds just a little bit of that saltiness and sharpness that you just crave with something creamy and hearty and delicious like couscous. So we'll just stir that in. The cheese is melting as we add it, which is just so nice. It almost becomes like a mac and cheese type of grain. All right, everyone, our couscous is made, and we are using this for a surf and turf dish later today, but I gotta try it. It's fresh, it just looks so tasty. All right, let's do it. It's literally like pasta with tomatoes in it. If you've never made couscous before, you gotta make this. Oh, happy eating, everyone.